So now we've got Keith from TMA Technology, which is using AR to gain learning experiences via an elf.
Hi, thanks for... Hi everybody.
You're right.
Yeah, just going to do the old screen share thing.
Cool.
Tie screen. Okay. Hi everybody, so I'm Keith and I'd like to introduce you to Tizzy, who is the world's first augmented reality elf, so an AR elf for kids to have fun and to learn from. And Tizzy was created when I was doing Elf on the Shelf, which I'm sure some of you are going to be familiar with. I was doing this with my son and I thought, wouldn't it be great if we could show the child the elf arriving in an AR environmental world. And that's where I came up with the idea of Tizzy. And I've even built a proof of concept, which I'll show you in a few minutes. As the idea grew and I researched AR more, I discovered that AR is actually a really good sensory tool, in order to teach kids certain skills, such as reading and writing. And so I decided to build that into the concept of what Tizzy is. So Tizzy is actually now going to be fun, as in the messing around with the environments, but also going to be a really good teaching tool. I also wanted, I built the proof of concept in London with a team, and I wanted to find the same kind of resource in the Southwest. So quite recently, this only started in like January sort of time, looked around, discovered TechSpark and Swindon Tech, and met some people who have put me onto the right direction for developers locally that can help me with this. And the third part of the puzzle for this really is that we're going to be building AR, we're going to be building Tizzy as a brand, which I'll explain in just a few minutes. But the most important part of this really is just to show you the concept that's been built so far. So what I'll show you this video, hopefully it'll work. There we go. So what you can see here in this proof of concept is that we want to show an elf arriving from the North Pole. So for this proof of concept, we used Elf on the Shelf because there was a ready-made model for that. But we'll use Tizzy, who's actually going to be an all-year-round elf, not just a Christmas elf. And the second part of this is you'll notice that there's a physical door and a digital door laid over the top. And that's not going to be there for our new version. Our new version will be completely digital, so anybody will be able to use this app that has the right smartphones. As I said, the second part of the app is this Tizzy Learns element. So Tizzy will show the kid through AR how to do some key learning. For example, tracing letters and words in order to start writing, and we will build that curriculum as we go along. And then the third thing on the right you can see is that the app's going to have this Elfie selfie aspect to it, which is just a fun way of really creating shareable content, which gets it out there in the social media, and obviously it attracts more attention to Tizzy. So as I said, Tizzy is going to be a brand, not just a single AR app. So what the other aspects of Tizzy are going to be is brand licensing. So we will build Tizzy in a way that our licensees will be interested in using Tizzy as part of their products, and also we can build educational aspects, which means we can license the Tizzy brand into educational fields should they wish. And we're also going to build other fun and interactive apps as well. So for example, like pair games, and I'll go into it in more detail if you're interested, but there's just these couple of extra additional games that we can do, which will build the brand a lot more and create a range of games for the child to play. So the market is there's 6.5 million children in the UK, which translates to 3.5 million households. So we'll launch in the UK first, and take that learning once we launch to build and target the USA, which has a 10 times sizable market than the UK. We want to launch in the UK first because a lot of this is about launching, iterating and learning and using the feedback that we're going to get from having an active social media and we want to do just lots of feedback and also analytics as well. So we're going to build in lots of analytics, find out what are the features that people are using, and then we build and grow on that. So I'm Keith, the founder. We have developers and marketeers. They're currently an outsourced team so that we can keep costs down whilst we're not doing any development, with a long-term plan to obviously build a team of developers should we need to. And as you can see, illustrators and accountants as well to build that thing. So the plan over the next 2 years is to launch an app, launch the brand, and then just build and iterate on that. So really the reason why I'm looking for the money is to take us through to the next 18 months, which is when we start to see revenue coming in. The total investment that we're looking for is £125,000 from investors, and then £75,000 from crowdfunding. And as you can see along the bottom there, what we've done so far is built the proof of concepts. We've got illustrators working on Tizzy right now. We've got the roadmap worked out, and we'll be launching by the end of the year. Thanks very much.
Cool, thank you. Can you stop sharing the brick pad? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So it's quite early stage then. So you're just at sort of proof of concept stage at the moment.
Yes.
Cool. How does anyone have any questions about Tizzy? Oh, Dave.
Thank you so much for that. Very kind of you to present. I was unclear where the consumer demand or need was coming from. It sounds like you've created a great character, but I was unsure what was actually driving your assumptions around brand or education, and where, if any, that data had come from.
Yeah, so there's only a few brands in the AR space at the moment, and part of the reason why I believe that AR hasn't taken off in the way it has that it needs to is because of the lack of brands in the space that are really encouraging consumers to use AR. So the most obvious examples that we do have out there at the moment are the games such as Pokemon Go. There's an Angry Birds, and I'm sure you've heard of the Wallace and Gromit AR game as well. So they each of these brands have pulled their fans into the space of AR and have seen significant traction as a result of doing so. I'm sure you know that Pokemon Go has been hugely successful. So that's what we're looking to do, is to basically create a new brand in that AR space that will pull fans in, but target a different demographic. Pokemon Go and the others target a higher age group than what we're going for.
Thanks, Keith.
Jack, go for it.
Hi, Keith. So you mentioned that the plan was to develop in the UK and then grow into the US as times the market. You said potential size. What do you think the potential threat is from a US-based competitor taking advantage of that market before you're ready to grow into it?
So the only real competitor is Elf on the Shelf. And the first concept of this was to actually license their image and put it onto our app. So I've had conversations with them, and it's actually not a space that we're interested in pursuing. To be honest, the more broad threat is actually going to come from a company like Peppa Pig that are already targeting that sort of age group, moving into AR, as opposed to an American elf company, for example.
Sorry, I'm struggling to hear. Is Keith's internet dropping out a little bit?
Oh no. Can you hear me?
That's cool. Yeah, we can just about. Got time for one more quick question if anyone has anything urgent. Otherwise, no, we're good. Thank you, Keith. That's brilliant.
Thank you.
We will head on to Adrienne. Oh, hang on. Thank you.